I know that you were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation.
Why does Diddy's name keep popping up in conversations about unexpected celebrity deaths and odd things happening in Hollywood? Lately, people have been pointing out how he talked about Whitney Houston, claiming that his words suggest he might have known more than he let on. Some believe there's more to his comments than meets the eye. According to these theories, everything links back to one person, and if you've been following the rumors, you probably already know who that is.
Diddy and Davis, have they ever had anything past business? Because to me, they seem to mirror each other behavior-wise. Like to me, they both got like that dark energy around them. But I almost wonder, like, well, damn, you know, did they ever have anything? Well, I just wondered that, man, because they're very.
And then it's Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead.
Whitney Houston tragically passed away just hours before Clive Davis's famous pre-Grammy party. What shocked many was that the party didn't stop. Guests kept celebrating downstairs while Whitney's lifeless body was still in the bathtub. Upstairs now, ask yourself this: why would Clive continue with the event, knowing what had just happened in his own hotel suite? And why did Diddy, who had strong ties to the music world and a close connection to Whitney, appear so unaffected? Some think he might know more than he lets on, or possibly be connected to deeper, hidden networks within the industry. There are ongoing claims that Hollywood runs on an underground system where some are protected at all costs, while others are cast aside or silenced. If this is true, then where exactly does Diddy fit in? It gets even darker when you consider Bobby Brown's statements. He has repeatedly said he believes there was foul play not only in Whitney's death, but in their daughter Bobby Christina as well. He's openly accused Nick Gordon, Bobby's ex of being involved in both. This adds more fuel to an already disturbing set of suspicions.
I want the world to know that Bobby Christina did not die from the bathtub incident. That's not what killed Bobby Christina.
What killed Bobby Christina?
Bobby Christina was starved to death.
Do you approach that?
He knows what happened. I don't know what happened that night, but he does.
You walk through that door and you see her much like you saw Whitney.
It was literally, it was a night.
Word going around suggests that Bobby Brown believes there's a lot more to Whitney Houston's death than just Nick Gordon's involvement. In fact, according to some sources, Bobby thinks the whole situation runs deeper, possibly involving people with powerful connections and long histories in the entertainment industry. And with Whitney's name unexpectedly coming up in recent court testimony linked to Diddy, it's no surprise that people are starting to look closer. There's a growing belief that Bobby is holding back some serious truths and might eventually come forward with what he knows. Let's start with how Whitney's name got mentioned during the trial. It happened when Diddy's former assistant Capricorn Clark testified. While explaining how she viewed Cassie's music talent, Capricorn said she thought Cassie had potential but wasn't on the same level as real powerhouse artists. When asked why she thought Cassie only had talent and not great talent, she answered, "Talent to me is Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey." She said those women were true vocalists, live performers who didn't rely on heavy studio work or post-production to sound good. Cassie, in contrast, was more comfortable in a controlled studio setting, where audio could be tweaked and polished. Then Whitney's name came up again, this time under far stranger circumstances. Diddy's lawyer questioned Cassie about an incident from February 2012, right around the time Whitney passed away. He asked Cassie if she remembered the night Diddy allegedly overdosed on opioids. Cassie said yes and described how they had gone to a club in San Bernardino, followed by a party at the Playboy Mansion. She left the party early, but later learned from Diddy that he had taken a very strong opioid that night and had to be rushed to the hospital. Cassie's account didn't explain why Whitney was mentioned in that moment, but many people believe the timing is suspicious. Diddy's drug incident happened the same night Whitney died. That connection has made some people wonder, was it just coincidence, or is there more behind the scenes? Whitney Houston was found unresponsive, submerged in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel on February 11, 2012. Officially, her death was labeled an accidental drowning. Toxicology reports showed small amounts of cocaine in her system, along with traces of marijuana, Xanax, and a few other substances. Authorities suggested that Whitney might have suffered a heart attack brought on by atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries that caused her to lose consciousness and drown. But here's the thing. The coroner never actually confirmed that she had a heart attack. The autopsy only showed mild heart disease and a small amount of blockage in one artery. Nothing that would definitely lead to sudden cardiac arrest. Even more strange was the fact that there wasn't enough water in Whitney's lungs to prove she drowned while conscious. That led many to believe she was already unconscious, or worse for being placed in the bathtub. The water in the tub was extremely hot, which also raises questions. If she passed out before getting into the tub, then how did her body end? Up in that condition, was she placed there by someone else? And if so, who would do that and why? These questions are why people continue to suspect foul play. And that's where Diddy's name comes up again. While there's no public record of Diddy and Whitney having any meaningful relationship, many insiders claim that Whitney kept her distance from him. She reportedly didn't trust the direction the industry was heading and wanted to stay away from people she believed were part of what she saw as the Hollywood machine. Diddy, with his enormous influence, high-profile lifestyle, and rumored connections, represented everything Whitney was trying to avoid.
You were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation. So I was at her wedding, but I didn't really know her. But it was like the hottest thing in town for the music industry. But I didn't crash the party somehow. You know, I was a hustler. I got my name on there, me plus one. I went there and I was just like, oh my God, I'm at Whitney Houston's wedding. You know, I was a big Bobby Brown fan. And then throughout the years, I got to meet her. And she was so full of life, so full of just joy. And she always made you feel like she noticed you and recognized you and spoke to you. And she'll definitely.
Yet after Whitney's death, Diddy gave interviews, appeared at tributes, and spoke publicly about her as if they had a close connection. In one interview with Ellen DeGeneres, he talked about knowing Whitney and praised her as a legend. That's fine on the surface, but it felt strange to some people, especially those who knew that Whitney kept a tight circle and rarely socialized with certain industry types. If they weren't close, why was Diddy so vocal about her after she passed? And let's not forget Bobby Brown. He has never believed that Whitney simply overdosed or drowned by accident. Over the years, he's made it clear that he thinks something darker happened. Bobby has also openly accused Nick Gordon, his daughter Bobby Christina's ex-boyfriend, of being involved not just in Bobby's death, but Whitney's as well. And considering Bobby Christina died under eerily similar circumstances, also found unconscious in a bathtub, it's hard to ignore the past.